Hi, friends. This is Catherine, and today we are going to continue learning about China's geography. Let's get started. So, the objective of our lesson today is to use maps and other tools to explore China's geography and location. So, in addition to natural features such as rivers, deserts, and mountains, human activities can change or modify places and they can create human made features. So, last time we looked at some of the natural features of China's geography, and today we're going to examine some of the human made features. You're going to look at different maps and images to learn about how humans have modified the environment to fit the needs of their community. Let's start by taking a look at this map of China's human-made features. I noticed right away that there is a legend down here in the bottom corner, and that dark green shows land above 5,000 feet. A lighter green shows land above 1,500 feet. And this beige color shows land below 1,500 feet. Then I see that there is blue showing where the modern Grand Canal is. This dotted red line shows the vast canal of Han. And this thick red line shows the Great Wall frontier. So as I'm looking carefully at this map, I notice that from west to east, the land starts out being really high, right? We've got this dark green color where it's above 5,000 feet, and then it gets lower and lower. I can also see in the labels on this map that there are deserts over here and that there are rivers where we were exploring rivers yesterday when we were looking at the maps. So let's take a moment and see if we can identify some of the human-made features. So we saw on the legend that the Grand Canal is dark blue and that the Great Wall is dark red. So let's start by moving these blue arrows to where there are rivers and canals. So I noticed that there is the Grand Canal right here, going all the way along the map. Then I also noticed several different other waterways, like there's the Bian Canal, there's the Yangtze River, there's the Yellow River, some more of the Yellow River over here, there's the Wei River, and then all along here is the Great Wall. Sorry, this is the Grand Canal. The red is the Great Wall. Using that map, let's try to answer the next few questions together. So why might the Chinese want to build the Great Wall after we've had a chance to really explore that map and the maps from our last lesson? I thought that the Chinese might have wanted to build the Great Wall to protect themselves from invaders. I noticed that the Great Wall is located along the northern border of China, right by Mongolia and the deserts. This area kind of leaves China open to invaders, unlike the area to the south where there are more mountains. The builders or the people who commissioned the wall to be built might have thought that a wall would stop people from being able to get into China. And we learned from the maps yesterday that 3 major rivers in China go inward, which might have made it easier for intruders to come to China. So there isn't the natural waterway to protect them. Speaking of waterways, what was the purpose of the Grand Canal? How did it affect travel and trade in China? Well, based on the maps we've analyzed, I can see that the Grand Canal connects 2 major rivers in China. This makes me think that the purpose of the Grand Canal was for transportation and trade. Rivers are beneficial for farming, right? Because they help keep, you need water for farming in general, but it helps keep the land or the soil rich. And so if there were crops and other goods from farming, the Grand Canal could help bring those items towards Beijing. The Grand Canal could have also been used to transport not only goods, but people too, as long as they had boats. So I imagine it would improve both trade and travel in China. What part of China would have been the most traveling for China and why? Well, I think that the mountains would be the most challenging part of China for travel. I mean, we discussed a little bit yesterday in your independent work that if people had camels, they could travel through deserts. And with the rivers and the construction of the Grand Canal, people could use waterways to travel. Mountains, on the other hand, are very high up and they can be very difficult for travel. Based on this map, where do you think the earliest inhabitants of China settled? Why? Well, based on the map, I think that the earliest inhabitants of China settled in eastern China. I think this because this area of China has lots of access to water from all the rivers, which would allow people to farm, have easy access to drinking water, and use water in other ways that are necessary for survival. The land in the east is also not as high as the western side of China. Mountains and higher land can make travel really difficult. And lastly, it's not a desert in the eastern side of China. Deserts are hard to survive in because they can be hot and dry without much water. Now, today, you're going to analyze two images and you're going to complete a See, Think, Wonder routine, which I'll show you in just a second. If you have an Investigating China dictionary, you can add these terms to it. And if not, just let's listen to these terms and remember them as we explore images and think about the maps we looked at today. So the first term is a basin. A basin is a depression or a dip in the Earth's surface. Next is a plateau. Plateau is a raised area of land. It's flat on top. Range, now you might know this word from math, but a range in geography is a group of mountains that are located close together. And lastly, we've been talking about the Grand Canal. What's a canal? A canal is a waterway built by people, connecting bodies of water. So these are the images you're going to look at. One is of the Grand Canal. And I'd like you to complete the I see, I think, I wonder graphic organizer for this human-made feature. Think about what you notice. Really carefully analyze all the different parts of this image and respond here. Then, what do those things you saw make you think? And what does it make you wonder? Next, you're going to look at this image of the Great Wall of China, and you're going to complete the same graphic organizer, but for this human-made feature. What do you see in this photograph? Really carefully examine all of the parts. Do you see objects? Do you see any people maybe? And what does it make you think? What does it make you wonder? What questions do you have? Lastly, we have a wrap-up question for you. I'd like you to respond to this question. What is the most interesting thing you've learned about China's geography? When you're all done, you can submit your responses to your independent work. We cannot wait to see what you've found interesting about the geography of China and what you've learned about the human-made features. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.